Okay, be happy. Devote your entire being to the acquisition of joy. Do not allow depression to rest within you for even a minute, says the holy Mohorosh to us. Resolve to become a better person. Regard depression as a transgression. Next paragraph. Many people make this resolution and their hearts burn with a powerful yearning to be joyful. Yet afterwards they fall into a depression. This is because they lack the patience necessary to attain completion. Therefore, do not force the process, rather wait patiently. As our rabbis say, he who comes to purify himself is helped, but he's told to wait. In that period, be very strong. Don't get discouraged, and no matter what happens, wait and hope until your day of salvation comes. Now, that's clearly a step of faith, of really believing in yourself and believing in the process, trusting the process that you can get out the other end. So when we're stuck in depression, which I've been through, many of our clients have been through, and we're stuck in a bad, dark space for whatever reason, because of mentality, physiology, relationships, financial, we have to wait on our acquisition sometimes. But we know that we want to devote our entire being to the acquisition of joy, and in this case, the entire being is waiting. Now, let's deal with this second sentence I love a lot. Do not allow depression to rest within you for even a minute. Sometimes in dealing with abusers and other things, we say no tolerance policy, that when a person decides, you know what, I'm not taking this anymore, there's a no tolerance policy in the house. We no longer tolerate people criticizing themselves. We no longer tolerate little brothers beating up on even littler sisters. We don't tolerate it. And I'm thinking that might be a good tool for this sentence. Do not allow depression to rest within a minute. Rest within you. What do you mean rest within you? It's really interesting. It's saying, I'm not depression, and this is really not a part of me. Don't allow it to rest within me. It's like, I was thinking like I'm the house, like the way it says in, I think in Exodus, in Shemos, build make for me a temple and I will dwell within. In other words, we are a temple, and we have, let's say, depression within us, and it is like an unwelcome guest. I was thinking like an unwelcome guest, and we want to have a no tolerance policy for the unwelcome guest. And it's like, if you're going to stay here, bud, you can't be saying that stuff to me. But I think this shift of de-identifying with depression, as this is not, it's a part of me, but it's hopefully like switching it from this is just who I am, this is just my situation, which is kind of an acquiescence and giving up, to no, I will get out of this one day. Imagine any movie you've ever seen where somebody's stuck in a bad city, in a bad place, in a jail, in a prison cell, and they believe and they trust, and that's not easy to do. And we might need to be together to do that. We might need to connect with others and hear stories of other people who could do it and believe that it can happen. And sometimes we need stories and even logic and even a treatment plan or a coaching plan that really guides us to know how to do that. So that's very real. But don't allow it to rest within you for even a minute. And we want to resolve to become a better person. We want to look at it as a transgression. That this unwelcome guest is doing a transgression. Imagine you had a cousin who was staying with you for a month. Let's say he flew in from India, or he flew in from Baghdad, or he flew in from Mexico, or wherever, from South Carolina. And he's staying with you because the relatives asked to let him stay with you. And he's doing transgressions. He's doing not nice things in the house. He's saying not nice things. He's spreading bad energy. He's all sorts of stuff. So resolve to regard depression as a transgression. Say that this guy is a transgressor. He's not acting right in the house. It's sort of like, if you're going to stick around here, bud, you can't talk that way. And if you're going to stick around here, you can't be that way. I think this Mohorosh is giving us such a tremendous result. So we have number one, devote your entire being. Number two, don't let it rest within you. Don't let it be a part of you. Number three, regard it as a transgression. And we're not going to allow this to happen in the house anymore. And then number four, we're getting to, is the power of waiting. So, I don't know about you, but I find this very, very powerful. And, this idea that regarded as a transgression. I don't know about you, but I just think like depression is not even a transgression. It's just an unfortunate reality that I find myself in. You know what I mean? It's like it's not like a transgression. It's just it's what is. Like, what do you want from me? Like, this is where I'm stuck. But in a way, that's almost like getting stuck in like the red light district, and that's just where I live. Like, this becomes normal. And I see this all the time. Think of patients and people we work with in our clinic that, who was telling me? Another therapist was telling me about their client who, it's clear now, I remember, who, she works in a hospital setting, and they were doing an intake, a psychiatric intake, and these people, they scream at each other, and the guy got called, she called the police, and he was just doing it to get her to pay attention. It's like, they're so used to the abusive talk, and it becomes like normal. That's normal. That's just the way things happen around here. That's just the way it is. And it becomes like the norm of life. So let's make this not normal anymore. Let's make this abnormal. Let's regard it as not normal. Let's make that shift. And let's make it that we don't want it in us. Not that just, okay, it is what it is. The Holy Rabbi Arash Shlita, he told me, and he teaches that people oscillate. They go from one extreme to the other, kind of like giving in, acquiescence, total, I guess, giving up on the other side, to total fighting and self-criticism, because, I should be able to. We're looking for a middle ground where, no, you know what, I can only do what I can do, but at least I can shift my mindset. And I can say, this is not okay to be happening here. So at this point, we're going to strengthen our hearts, and we're going to get back to this more next time. We're going to talk about waiting, and then we're going to have gotten through this section. So thank you for joining us, and wishing you a hopeful day. Practice making this an unwelcome guest.